This is a preview of a Newsbud community member exclusive. Sign up today at newsbud.com for full access. Looking back at the theatrics and the ensuing events that took place throughout the 2016 presidential election, it may go down in history as the most controversial and possibly corrupt elections of all time, not only discrediting both major political parties in the U.S., but its intelligence agencies, its judicial system, and its media. During the campaigns leading up to the first presidential debate, the Washington Post first broke the Russian hacking story on June 14, 2016. The Washington Post, who often quotes unnamed CIA sources in its reporting while neglecting to disclose a business arrangement between CIA and Washington Post owner Jeff Bezos for $600 million, reported that the hack of the DNC servers was carried out by the Russian government. The former head of the CIA, John Brennan, would later testify to House Intelligence Committee echoing the Washington Post report.
And the fact that the Russians tried to influence that election.
But it wasn't the CIA, the FBI, or even the NSA who allegedly determined the Russian government was responsible for the DNC hack.
When did the DNC provide access to the FBI?
We never got direct access to the machines themselves.
This forced the intelligence community to rely on a third-party report paid for by the DNC, published by the private company CrowdStrike, and reported by the media. CrowdStrike is a privately owned company funded largely by Google. One of the founders of CrowdStrike, Dmitry Alperovitch, is a senior fellow for the Atlantic Council, a Soros-funded think tank which has an extremely pro-NATO anti-Russian philosophy.
That I would like to give Hillary an award, the award of Distinguished International Leader.
The CEO of CrowdStrike later admitted after the release of the initial report that there was no way to definitively prove Russia's involvement in the DNC hack, but you never hear that reported in the mainstream media. Why wasn't the FBI allowed to examine the DNC hacked servers? Why hasn't the media, the investigators, or the committees asked about the existence of technology that allows hackers to misdirect forensic investigators, covering their tracks?
We have 17 intelligence agencies, civilian and military, who have all concluded that these espionage attacks, these cyber attacks, come from the highest levels of the Kremlin.
After the FBI began its investigation into Hillary Clinton,
I did see President Clinton at the Phoenix airport.
Was your decision influenced by the Attorney General's tarmac meeting with the former President Bill Clinton?
Yes.
4 days after the Justice Department cleared presidential candidate Hillary Clinton of any criminal charges, DNC staffer Seth Rich was shot to death in Washington, D.C. on July 10, 2016. D.C. Police Chief Kathy Lehner, who directly oversaw the murder investigation, resigned 1 month after the death. Before the police chief had resigned, she had socialized and been honored alongside key Clinton and DNC officials on multiple occasions. Since the police report indicates Seth Rich was conscious and breathing for approximately 96 minutes before the death, is it possible that the police body cams may have picked up some important clues? Was Seth Rich able to communicate information about his killer with the police? In addition to the damning leaks on Hillary Clinton and her presidential campaign chairman John Podesta, Democratic National Committee Chairwoman Debbie Wasserman Schultz was implicated directly in the email scandal. Moving from one computer scandal to the next, an IT staffer that worked for Debbie Wasserman Schultz since 2004 was recently arrested on bank fraud charges at Dulles International Airport while attempting to leave the country after wiring $300,000 to Pakistan. But it appears bank fraud may be the least of concerns for the Awans, Capitol Police, the FBI, and possibly national security. Before the Awans' access was revoked, they had access to classified and secret information. They also had full access to Debbie Wasserman Schultz's accounts for the entire 5 years she was the chairwoman of the DNC. Yes, they had access to the same emails that supposedly Russia hacked and gave to WikiLeaks. Why would a close ally of the Clintons take this case? Wouldn't the Clintons want to distance themselves from this? Do the Clintons have a stake in this case? Is it possible that the Awans were the original source of the DNC leaked emails, given that they had access and are now being investigated for secretly transferring data to an unknown off-site server? Even if you discount and disregard everything Wheeler has said, he is not the only one who has come forward saying Seth Rich was the WikiLeaks source. WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange suggested it. Kim.com predicted the leaks and then came forward saying he was willing to testify that Seth Rich was in fact the WikiLeaks source. And now audio has been released of Seymour Hersh.
About the kid, and I'll tell you what I know. What I know comes off an FBI report, and here's what they find. He makes contact with WikiLeaks. That's in his computer, and he makes contact.
The same media who blasted out the NPR story highlighting the Fox News lawsuit and the potential White House connection across every channel was and has remained completely silent about the Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Seymour Hersh's recording. Is it because Hersh clearly states the Russian hacking story to influence the presidential election was a Brennan op? In other words, a CIA psychological disinformation operation completely manufactured by the CIA.
For just a small subscription fee, you can become a member of the Newsbud community and help keep this website running. Your subscription will provide you with full community access to exclusive content, including videos and articles from Newsbud's team of experts and analysts. Sign up today for full access at newsbud.com.